happy homecoming. A win's a win, and we're extremely happy about it. I thought we played really complimentary football in the first half. I mean, offense, defense, special teams all showed up, made big plays. Special teams obviously helped to establish some momentum and rhythm in the first half, and, you know, that's awesome. I mean, we want to be perfect in every phase of the game, and sometimes when that doesn't happen and you get an influx of a couple plays from special teams, that can be a real big boost, and that's a big thing. I think that'll be Jackson Williams. That was a decision I made at about 13 minutes before the game, and I said, send the young guy. And he circled the ball. He was a great center fielder in high school, and I think moving forward we're going to give him a lot of consideration. He really circled that tough punt really nicely. And obviously in the third quarter, I just would like us to be cleaner. Obviously it's a little bit of a blur right now without being able to see the tape, but we're making some bad situations worse as far as on offense. You just got to throw the ball away in the goal zone. The big run is really disappointing, although it's an improvement from last week. So really happy with the win. Excited for Coach Bull to get a chance to get in the locker room, celebrate. It's homecoming, and we've got a big night with the community tonight. So I'm looking forward to getting to the Bitters Bowl and being around some people after a win. I've been there before after a loss, and that's no fun. I'll open it up for questions.
Got your 100-yard rusher in Marty Brown. Just kind of his performance today and your thoughts about him going forward.
I hate to say we've been forecasting it, but we probably didn't tackle Marty or give him opportunities enough in fall camp for me to feel really comfortable about predicting or projecting. But he is a tough out as far as tackling him. And I think you guys, I don't know if you guys see it or sense it, but I'm sensing a rhythm with him. The more pitches that he gets, I think the better he'll be. I'm really happy for Marty because he practices the right way. We always talk about a true thoroughbred can run all the way up to kickoff, and he's one of those guys. And I'm pleased with where he's at, and hopefully he can build on it and we can move forward.
He told me he craves contact. Describe that as a runner of what he does when somebody hits him.
As long as he's craving the end zone too, right? We don't want guys running in there playing bumper cars, but he is a physical guy. I mean, he's a lot bigger than you think, at least weight-wise. I think he's been up to at least 212, 213, 214 at times. And so he carries he's a guy that can throw some body blows, and I'm still interested in seeing him get out in space and watching his breakaway speed as well.
You had a stretch, I think, in the first half where I think you ran 19 straight running plays, if I'm not, and if you count the whatever the field goal thing was, I think it was 20 straight running plays. So I mean that's like when Tim Polasek was the offensive coordinator back in the day. You guys would just keep running.
Yeah, I felt like I was speaking out of both sides of my mouth since I've been back here, right? I want balance, and I want us to highlight our receivers, and I want balance in this thing. But going into this game, the message was pretty clear, and I'm gonna take a little bit of the blunt of 3 penalties. I asked our guys to go out there and we better be playing to and through the whistle today, and we will never be disrespectful to our opponent or the rules of engagement. But if we were going to teeter, we were going to be in the gray, and so I think the OC got the message. I really wanted to be conscious of just game flow, and if we could get the run game established, let's rock and roll with it today. And so that was a message that kind of cultivated and started probably on Monday and Tuesday, and so that was very intentional.
You mentioned Jackson Williams getting some more heavy consideration going forward in the return role. How do you kind of decide whether to keep him out there? I know he's young. Is that kind of the biggest factor moving forward?
No, I think it's a fair question. It's just, guys, Braylon, and we have 127 really good players and really good kids. Punt returning is a big deal. Okay, not everybody on the team or all of our skill guys can go back there and field punts. It's difficult, right? The only other time I would compare this to where we're at right now is sending Ryan Smith out there against Kansas. And President Cook's up there, I just thought about him. But, we happened to win that game on special teams, and we're out there with Ryan Smith catching punts. He never fielded a punt that was kicked that high in a real game. And so it's just, for coaches, right, we want to see evidence. But I saw enough evidence in practice this week. I've seen enough evidence with this kid's demeanor, his approach. He's an outstanding all-around athlete, and that's kind of what you're looking for is the baseball player, a guy that can track the ball, no different than playing free safety. And we're going to move forward with Jackson. We're going to give him every chance now to prove that he can't do it.
Another otherworldly day for your quarterback, where he 14 straight completions. Just describe where Cam is at right now.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is he's playing so darn good that I want him to eliminate the one or two plays where we're making it a little worse than the situation is. You know, the naked down in the gold zone. But he owns that. You know, like he knows better. But he is sharp right now. He is seeing coverage as well as that I've been around. I mean, you can just tell how fast the ball's coming out. Some of these things are drop back passes, but he's just taking the gift. You know, the only time that he's getting in a little bit of trouble is when he's not honoring his progression perfectly. He's playing at a high rate. He just really is.
Sorry, you mentioned before, evaluate your team's run defense today after last week.
Gosh, looking up there in the first half and somewhere in there early in the third quarter, you know, I was fairly pleased with it. You know, again, there's some scrambles in there. If we look at pure yards, there's some scrambles by the quarterback and those kind of things. Really disappointing that we miss a fit on the long run and just the inability on that specific play to get him tackled to the ground. It must improve. You know, I'd like our defense and all the players, you know, to take ownership of that so we can improve it so I'm not in here talking about the same topic every week.
Lance seemed to be fighting something lower body, but seemed to keep making his way back into the game. Any real concern there?
No, it's cool though, the science behind it. Like his weight was a little down this week. You know, he was fighting just a little bit of some cold things, I think, and some cramping showed up today. But it's really cool. What I mean by the science is just, you know, Jim's on top of the weights, right? Then we're on top of the fluids and like, okay, Bryce, we got to get you back up to speed where you were. And so he'll be diligent and he'll take care of that this week, but it was cramping.
With the center there, is that more of a trial kind of thing, or do you see that maybe in a long-term kind of situation?
Well, Kubitz has played a lot of Sam here early in his career. I think, you know, Grant getting his feet on the ground and understanding where he wants to take this now, probably better than he did 2 or 3 months ago, right? I keep encouraging him to get our best three out there. Nick Kubitz is a really good athlete, you know, that can play in space. He played some Sam before. He knows all three spots. And so, yeah, I asked, you know, Grant to give that some consideration. And Grant came up with a really cool, like, nickel linebacker type package. And that'll be a deal that I think we can leverage moving forward.
Yeah, Kubitz, the block punt, talk about that a little bit. That's,
for a second, it got interesting, actually, Mike, because, like, 5 guys were clean. And sometimes when 5 guys are clean, it's like they might run each other off. You know, you want to build it so that the guy that's going to block it has a chance to block it. And I think we executed a little bit better than their shield, but really good job of shooting his hands low, taking the clip from last week and improving on it. Because last week I thought our opportunity was equally as good, but our fundamentals were poor.
it was a dropped hold, but was that a fake field goal or was it
100% a fake,
Okay.
100% a fake field goal, and it was a walk-in. I mean, it was just, you know, they aligned 4 guys to one side, 6 to the other, and Mike linebacker was shaded, and I called the, you know, the check or whatever, and you got to catch the ball. You know, good football plays are always a product of good football stances and fundamentals and technique, and you can't do a whole lot if you don't catch the ball first. And so we'll do better next time.
Did you ever catch yourself looking down the sideline to see Craig there? Did that creep in your mind at all during the game?
Well, when we ran out and the band was still there, the only thing I was thinking is, like, Coach is thinking right now, Tim, you're unorganized and this should be more organized and you guys got to do better. That was a thought I had as I ran past them. And then somewhere in there, when it got to be 4th and 2 at the end and we're up 10, I know he would have kicked the field goal. And he even asked me afterwards. So those were the only 2 times that at all came to mind.
How special was it for you to get that win with him in the building?
It's just cool. You know, I'm glad you guys keep asking about it. It's really good, guys. Like, you know, when you're first, right, you want to be a coordinator. Okay, and then you start to cultivate some thoughts and you lean on people and you know, Coach, what do I got to do to be ready? I mean, it's all those moments that make it special. And I would think he probably shares some feelings towards that too. I know one of the things for me as a coach that's so important is, can we impact people that want to go out and coach and impact young kids' lives, whether it's high school or college, and get guys to coach ball. I think it's the greatest profession in the world.
Anything going on with Tony, the corner? Was that a?
Yeah, he would have maybe been emergency. He's got a little bit of a slight hamstring. He popped up late in the week, and he didn't play today. He had a hamstring, nothing else more than that. I just want you guys to know Jalen Duffy was a true Bison today and laid it on the line today with really tough family issue. And I'm so happy to have him in my foxhole. And I know it hasn't been perfect for that kid, but he dealt with some things today. Chase Morlock came over here and spoke to him before walkthrough, and he gutted it out. And I want him to know my thoughts and prayers are with him tonight.
Punt return. Just kind of what was going through your head as you crossed the end zone, and what was it like being able to score here in the Fargo Dome?
Just feeling that first score and the roar of the crowd is pretty cool, but I'm just glad the guys up front were able to create a crease for me to just find open space, and me one-on-one with the punter, I'm going to take me every time.
You had a chance, Jackson, to work on punt return much this year, and when did you find out you were going to be this guy?
I was just catching punts before every practice and after practice sometimes during practice, and I was told right before the game, you're going to be the punt returner today, and I was like, all right, let's go.
You've been close to breaking one, been close to kick return, so what did it feel to finally actually do it today?
It felt really good. Felt really good to get one today, and I'm just, again, grateful for the guys up front that made the opportunity.
Around breaking that 100-yard mark, what did you see from him today, and just kind of how special is it for him to get that kind of accomplishment here?
I'm so happy for him. The kid works really hard, and he's been really close the last few weeks from breaking a big one. And today, the yards after contact must have been pretty absurd. There were some plays where there wasn't much there, and he made something happen. And those are guys you want to play with, and I think we have a loaded running back room, but Marty really, really flashed today.
He said he craves contact. Do you see that in practice? He likes to get hit and then keeps going.
Yeah. Yes.
What is it about that he does that? Keeps going forward.
Well, it's hard to tell in practice, just because obviously we don't go live, but there were glimpses during fall camp where we would go live where, you can ask some of the defensive guys. He's a problem to bring to the ground, and couldn't be happier for the kid.
You see that all the time. So how difficult is it to bring 25 down?
Very tough. During fall camp, he broke a 99-yarder. They're doing a backed up situation, and when he just ran punch or something, he hit one cut, a vertical cut, and hit a seam, and nobody caught him. We had fast guys on defense chasing him. They didn't catch him. So that was kind of the moment that we knew that Marty he's one of those guys, great runner, and going against him all fall camp, I know made us on defense better. Having such a talented guy, physical, like you said, loves contact, absorbs contact really well. Just never stops running his feet. Just one of those workhorse backs that's really difficult to play against.
Cam, you've been here for a while now, and you obviously have long-term relationships with Braylon and Raja and Bryce, but how much fun is it to see a guy like Jackson in a true freshman year, someone that you probably welcomed onto campus, but just seeing a true freshman like Jackson break games while you're in your fifth year?
It's awesome to see, and I can put myself in their shoes too, playing as a freshman, and, the nerves that come along with that, and just the way that Jackson has handled those nerves. And you think about even Bryce, Makai, and Chris, who haven't played a lot, So those guys have handled their roles extremely well, and to see them flourish has been awesome to see.
It's gotta be you have to feel pretty awesome for Chris Harris.
Yes, yeah, and obviously I feel terrible for Braylon and Raj, and we need to get them back as soon as possible. But those guys didn't flinch when their name was called, and all season long they've came up big. Chris had that long one today, and the confidence and trust is there on my end.
Can you talk a little bit about that pass to Chris, the 50-yarder? Just walk us through that play, what you saw, and just walk us through.
Yeah, we had 2 play calls on that one, and it's really up to me if I see man or zone. And I thought I had seen zone, but it was actually man, so I had made the wrong check. And they took two guys with the vertical. Chris ran, wide open over the middle and caught it and got vertical. And those are plays that we made on 3rd and long last year, and we made multiple today, and that's what we got to continue to do if we're going to be successful.
Logan, how would you kind of assess the overall defense today? I mean, you got 10 points through most of the game, 2 scores. Kind of how would you evaluate the game as a whole?
Yeah, I think we played well in the first half. I think the second half we had a lot to clean up. The biggest thing for us that we want to emphasize is tackling, number one, and then limiting explosive plays. So obviously you saw a few of those. Those are things that we got to clean up, that we got to avoid. Thankfully, Big O's kind of been bailing us out the past couple weeks, but I'm excited because we're so far from our best football yet, and I think we're going to continue to improve each and every week, and hopefully we can go into conference play, playing some of the best football we've played yet this season. But I'm really excited about this group because we still have a lot to prove, and I think we still have a lot in our tank left that we're going to bring out in the coming weeks in conference play, and I'm excited for us to reach our full potential.
Marcus, their head coach had mentioned that they'd just kind of thrown a corner on that concept where you got the pick. Can you walk us through that? He thought that you might have gone with the corner. Obviously, you didn't. Can you just walk us kind of through what you saw and how you made that play?
Yes, I saw the corner a couple plays before. That was actually on Duffy, and I just, from film study, seeing how they release, and he took a wide release, and usually that's a hitch, so I was in a certain coverage where I could break on the hitch, and I just baited it and disguised it and made sure I was ready, and right when I saw him take that release, I was ready to break, and I just broke on the ball and played fast.
You seem pretty darn confident that was a clean catch. You got that one?
Yeah, for sure.
How good did that feel to have a first pick that you've got here? You transferred in last year and getting used to the defense to have a big play like that today.
It was amazing. Right when I broke and I saw the ball out, I just knew like I had to get it. And once I made the catch, I just felt all the energy from the sidelines and the crowd. It was a good moment.
You got dinged up down in Tennessee, didn't you? I know you didn't come back in the game after that down there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you obviously got better.
Yeah.
Cam, go ahead.
Can't just talk about the level that you're playing at right now. Talk about yourself. Coach said you're seeing things well right now. You at the where you want to be with that right now.
I still think I left a few plays out there today, but I thought we were extremely efficient in the passing game, and I think we have been for the last few weeks. And you can ask some of the coaches. I was a little worried, not that some of the younger guys couldn't get it done, but when you've played enough football with number 1 and number 3, Braylon and Raja, for as long as I have, you have a comfort level with them. And I've been just extremely impressed, especially after the East Tennessee State game, where Cade Osterman comes in for his first ever play and catches a 30-yarder, and Makai Collins and Chris, so that gave me a lot of confidence going into this week. But I can tell you, going into East Tennessee State, I wasn't as confident with what was going to happen, just because all you have to fall back on is seeing what they've done in practice, not in the game. And like I said before, I mean, those guys didn't flinch whatsoever, and I have a lot of confidence in Jackson, John Gores, all those guys. They're making plays and making me look good.
Is it fun to think about what could be when everyone comes back?
Yeah, it's going to be scary, very scary.
Logan, tell me about Valley play now is here, and about knowing full well offenses that you're going to face. What kind of challenge it's going to present for the defense starting next week?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball in Missouri Valley, no doubt about that. I think it's safe to say we're the best, most competitive conference in the FCS right now, and so we know a lot of the offenses that we're going to face in the coming weeks. We have a lot of experience against them. So it's going to just take some extra deep dives into film study from previous games, from the games earlier this year. Our coaches are going to put together a phenomenal game plan for us each and every week. But we just got to be ready to go out and play our brand of Code Green football. Got to play physical, got to play hard, got to play fast, got to play together. If we play with all 11 guys on the same page every single play, I think we're going to have a lot of success. Big O is going to continue to put points on the board for us, and we just got to go out and get enough stops.